true heart or deluded heart. Both are Wukong's true heart and deluded heart in conflict, not a battle between good and evil, or man versus the heavenly way. Two Wukongs. One is the essence of Wukong's existence, the other is the physical collection of Wukong's six senses. Therefore, whether it's the mortal Tangsanzang, the gods of the heavenly court, the demon revealing mirror, or Guanyin Bodhisattva, none can distinguish who is real and who is fake. Explaining it this way, it seems like I'm affirming the theory of two hearts, as if I agree with it. The so-called six-eared macaque is seen as another heart of Wukong transformed into an identical monkey. However, there are many reasons in the world to refute the theory of two hearts. The most famous are these two passages from the original. The first passage is where the Buddha explains the four monkeys of the world to the other Buddhas. Here, the description of the six-eared macaque is that it can understand all things before and after through its keen hearing. This particular sentence was said by the Buddha to the other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, but the sentence is actually easy to decipher, because the three words keen hearing literally mean, as the Buddha said later, that the six-eared macaque's ears are very sharp, able to hear people talking from 1,000 miles away. Therefore, those who oppose the theory of two hearts believe that the six-eared macaque learned Wukong's skills by eavesdropping on Bodhi's teachings, which is why it has the same abilities as Wukong. However, in the second chapter of the original work, when Wukong was diligently learning from his master Bodhi, it clearly tells us that Wukong said, "There is no six-eared here, only me, the disciple. Master, please teach me the way of immortality with great compassion. I will never forget your kindness and the invaluable lessons you impart upon me. There is no six-eared here." The literal meaning of six-eared here refers to a third party, but on the other hand, it specifically refers to the six-eared macaque, because apart from the chapter of the true and false Monkey King, this is the only time the term six-eared appears in the entire novel. So, there is no six-eared here. It's as if the author is emphasizing this point, laying the groundwork for the later plot involving the true and false Monkey King. The author is telling us that when Wukong was learning his skills, there was no six-eared macaque present, only Bodhi and Wukong. So the six-eared was a tacit understanding between the master and disciple at that time. The six-eared macaque does not exist, there is only the disciple's son Wukong. Moreover, having keen hearing is not something that is exclusive to the six-eared macaque alone. It's like saying that Wukong, the so-called Lingling Stone monkey, doesn't have sharp ears. In the 31st chapter of the original work, Baji provokes Wukong. Of course, this episode is very interesting. I can say it's one of my favorites. At this time, Wukong said, "How can you hide it from me? When I pull my left ear up, I can hear people talking in the 33 heavens. When I pull my right ear down, I can hear the 10 kings of hell and the judges settling accounts." We can observe that Wukong's keen hearing ability is no less impressive than that of the six-eared macaque. So, the later statement that it can understand all things before and after is full of loopholes. If the six-eared macaque could really understand all things before and after, did it ever think about its own fate of being seen through by the Buddha and ultimately dying out? Therefore, the Buddha's words were said to the Buddhas and immortals, revealing a terrifying truth upon careful thought. It cannot be used to directly refute the theory of two hearts. Here, it seems like the theory of two hearts has taken a step forward, but it's not over yet. Next, the second original text, that more definitively refutes the theory of two hearts, is as follows. The first sentence, the macaque was terrified when it heard the Buddha reveal its true form, and it quickly jumped up and ran away. The second sentence, it stepped forward and picked up the alms bowl, and indeed saw its true form, a six-eared macaque. This dialogue, especially these two sentences, seems to deliver a heavy blow to those who support the theory of two hearts, as if all those who support the theory of two hearts have to overcome this hurdle. Using the Confucian and Taoist framework for the theory of two hearts, this passage can refute the theory of two hearts. However, if we use the Buddhist concept of two hearts, using the deluded heart and true heart in Buddhism to explain, we can find that if we trace back the entire event, the deluded heart corresponds to Wukong, because his six senses and roots correspond to everyone's six senses. His appearance, voice, skills, emotions, and memories are all Wukong. And the true heart corresponds to Wukong's true nature. Regardless of his six senses, whether alive or dead, the great sage equal to heaven, the victorious fighting Buddha, a demon monkey, or an unknown person, he is always Wukong. So, when we look back at this passage that seems to refute the theory of two hearts, it actually becomes a support for the theory of two hearts under Mahayana Buddhism. Because ever since the Buddha revealed the enigmatic riddle known only to Wukong and Bodhi, which stated, "There is no six-eared here," the macaque immediately jumped up and ran away. The one who jumped up and ran away here is actually Wukong, corresponding to the true heart. Under the Buddha's statement that the fake Wukong is the six-eared macaque, The Wukong, corresponding to the deluded heart, appears in the world with the 6 senses. Because the deluded Wukong is essentially a collection of the 6 senses of this monkey, Wukong. No matter what, the deluded Wukong will never reveal his true form. So, the deluded Wukong himself will always believe that he is the real Wukong. Naturally, he has no reason or motivation to try and escape. Therefore, later, the Buddha covered the true heart. Wukong, we no longer use the terms true or false here, because in my view, both are true. True-hearted Wukong is Wukong. The deluded Wukong is also Wukong. He appeared before everyone in the form of the 6-eared macaque, a form that no one except the Buddha had ever heard of. So, rather than saying he covered and revealed the true form, it's more accurate to say he covered and transformed it into another form. However, in front of everyone, the true Wukong killed the false Wukong. But did this false Wukong really die? No, there are 2 reasons. In the original text, chapter 3, Wukong erased all the names of those under his wing, including 1,350 monkeys and rats. Second, the true-hearted Wukong is the true nature of Wukong. The true heart is neither born nor destroyed, neither pure nor impure. The true heart has no 6 senses, so it cannot go through the cycle of life and death. The cycle of life and death will be explained in detail later. Moreover, in a certain sense, the characteristics of the true heart, which are neither pure nor impure, neither born nor destroyed, are very similar to Wukong's original form when he sprang from the stone. So why did the Buddha fabricate the existence of a 6-eared macaque which shouldn't have existed, and then have one Wukong kill the other in front of everyone? To explain this deeply terrifying content, and to introduce the plot of the upcoming Black Myth, Wukong, we need to revisit a very important segment. In Journey to the West, there exists another widely recognized mystery, which revolves around Wukong's actual first master, Patriarch Bodhi. The chapters of Journey to the West can be split into 3 parts. The first 6 chapters tell the story of Wukong apprenticing, learning skills, causing havoc in the heavenly palace, and being subdued by Buddha. The middle 5 chapters serve as a prelude to the journey west to fetch the scriptures, mainly focusing on human stories. The last 88 chapters officially start the journey to fetch the scriptures. In the first 7 chapters, or even in the entire book, the most relaxed and delightful part is the chapter where Wukong apprentices and learns skills. That is the first and second chapters. Patriarch Bodhi not only taught Wukong skills, but also taught him the principles of being a person. Unlike Tang Sanzang later, Bodhi did not use the tight fillet spell to restrain Wukong. However, because Wukong showed off his skills, he was banished by Patriarch Bodhi. Before leaving, Patriarch Bodhi sternly told Wukong, "You are bound to cause trouble in the future. No matter what kind of trouble you cause, you must never say that you are my disciple. If you dare to utter a single word about it, I will strip you of your skin, crush your bones, and banish your soul to the depths of hell, where you will never be reborn." And what about Wukong? He agreed never to mention Patriarch Bodhi's name. So did Wukong really do it? Indeed, throughout the last 88 chapters, no matter how much trouble Wukong encountered, he never sought out or even mentioned Patriarch Bodhi again. The scene in the TV series where Wukong wants to seek Patriarch Bodhi because of the ginseng fruit tree is actually an adaptation by CCTV. It is not part of the original novel. Since bidding farewell to Patriarch Bodhi has completely disappeared from the entire journey to the west. Wukong not only never mentioned Patriarch Bodhi in his conversations, but also completely forgot about him in his heart and mind. In the 34th chapter of Journey to the West, Wukong at Yalong Mountain pretends to be a little demon to pay respects to the old demon. Wukong feels aggrieved and thinks, "I've been a hero for a while and have only bowed to 3, the Buddha in the west, Guan Yin in the South Sea, and my master who saved me at Liangji Mountain. I bowed to him 4 times. However, in the original text, up to the 34th chapter, Wukong bowed to Tang Sanzang in the 14th chapter, and to Guan Yin in the 26th chapter. He never went to the west in order to bow to the Buddha. Instead, Wukong bowed countless times when he was learning various skills from Patriarch Bodhi, and also when he was bidding farewell to him at Xinyu Hezhu. His respect and gratitude were evident in every bow he made. If it were a slip of the pen by the author, or a memory lapse due to the long gap between chapters, it would be understandable. Ma dongmei wa dongmei. But in the previous chapter, which is the 33rd chapter, Wukong sighed to the sky and said, "Since the chaos began, the heavens and the earth were created, and I was born on Huago Mountain. I have visited many famous masters and learned the secret of immortality." This clearly shows that he still remembers that his skills were learned from Patriarch Bodhi. How could he forget about Bodhi in just one chapter? Moreover, chapters 33 and 34 are both about the golden horn and silver horn. How could he forget Bodhi? If this were a public conversation, avoiding suspicion would be understandable, but this is Wukong's own internal monologue. Imagine everyone